Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lost in Translation. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure: 2020, Episode 6, The Targeted Kingdom. I'm May, and this time I'm joined by...
Just me, Quinn, hi.
So Stevie is unable to make it this week, but they did send all their thoughts, so we will have a special Stevie's Stance part where we read Stevie's thoughts that they've sent us on Discord, and they've actually put a spoiler tag around all their responses, so it'll be the first time we're actually reading Stevie's responses, so it'll be live for us as well as the listener, so that's pretty exciting.
Taking bets now on whether or not Stevie embedded just so much profanity.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to censor and then censor. It'll be great.
Anyway, God, I like this episode.
Yeah, spoilers, same.
Anyway.
I guess on with the synopsis.
Yes.
Sora and Taichi are exploring to see the view from above. They're kind of up a tree, and they're actually flying as well, because Biomon's really strong, apparently. And Sora says she can't see the sea, so they don't know how they're going to get to a new continent. And then the group decides they're all starving, so they decide that it's time to hunt for food. Agumon sees pink plants with pumpkins, and I was really excited because I thought we were going to get some pumpkinmon, but we did not. But it's fine because
we got Mimi.
I got Mimi, and but it's a trap because of course it is. But it's actually, I thought it was a bad guy's trap, but no, it is a Palmon trap. So Palmon accuses them of being fruit thieves, and then a bunch of Tanimon rise from the ground, and then Mimi shows up and says that all fruit thieves should be punished, and this is the coolest entrance of a character ever.
I love her so much.
I love her too. So they kind of explain that they're not, and then Mimi welcomes them to her kingdom, and we get some Tanimon playing the bongo drums, because...
Of course
we do. They're just jumping up and down, and they look so happy with themselves. And... So Mimi says that she's a
very
fourth grader. Yeah, but also she's a queen. So it's kind of like the evolution between we had her being a princess in Original Adventure, but now she's a queen. She has stepped up.
Yeah, well, she was princess, then she was a general. Now she's the queen. So really, she's really come up in the world.
Yeah, and she's also a tactical queen. She's clearly thought about the traps and thought about the layout of the kingdom, and she takes it pretty seriously, which is kind of great.
I love her. I love that. She's been here for a while because she doesn't know about the blackouts yet. So she's just been. She's been here.
Yeah,
she got it taken care of.
Yeah, she's been here for a bit, and which is strange because we definitely did see a green light in episode 3. So we saw them all go to the digital world, but I mean,
you know what? This episode introduced timey-wiminess anyway. We'll just go with it.
Yeah. Well, I guess timey-wiminess can explain it, so that's fine. So Palmon is actually Mimi's butler, which is the best thing ever.
Yeah, no, you
kind
can't.
of wish she had a suit.
Oh my god, Palmon needs a suit. Someone please send that to us.
I think I will try drawing it because I just got a graphics tablet and I'm looking for excuses to do just dumb sketches. And I think that is an adequately dumb enough sketch.
I love it.
That I will do as a Palmon in a butler suit is really the best thing ever. But, I mean, I can't draw, so I know that anyone could do it better. But I just love Palmon so much. Palmon deserves to be a butler. So Palmon asks if the group are with Tuskmon, and then upon finding out they're not with Tuskmon, she said, I guess the misunderstanding's cleared up. And then Sora explains that they're just lost. Meanwhile, we get a shot of Koshiro, and I thought we were going to get more Koshiro in this episode, but we didn't. He's just kind of keeping track of all the damage that's being caused, and he's flying away on Kabuterimon and kind of assessing the situation, as well as keeping track of what's happening in the real world.
Koshiro is just Genai.
That's kind of cool.
He's a little bit Genai right now.
Yeah, I think Koshiro is Genai this episode. I don't think we're going to this season, sorry. I don't think we're going to have a Genai. I think we're done with Genai. I think
that would be so good.
Koshiro is just he's too smart, and he's able to read stuff on his own. He's able to read all the wall of texts and the prophecies. And I mean, Taichi's also able to read the literal wall of text.
Mm-hmm.
So back to Mimi, the most important character of any season ever. Reveals her Digivice, and Sora and Tai, for some reason, are surprised, which is strange because every human that they've seen with a Digimon so far has either had a Digivice or will have a Digivice, so I don't know why they are surprised.
Well, especially since she's already got her partner Digimon. It's you've seen this pattern.
Yeah, this isn't surprising. I would expect her to have a Digivice, or at least I'd expect her to be about to get a Digivice.
Yeah, one or the other.
But I guess she already has it. Which is
so good.
Strange because everyone has had their Digivice upon meeting their partner except for Sora.
That's fair. Although we don't actually know that that's true, since we didn't really see when Mimi met Palmon.
No, I mean, sorry, Evolution.
Oh, yeah.
So
they came
Sora,
before the
Sora
evolution.
got hers when it evolved.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. Which was kind of cool, but it's kind of like, at least they're getting the Digivices at different times.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Mimi probably just found hers and said, cool. And, I mean, old Mimi would have gone like, a jewelry!
Yeah.
But this Mimi's like, I'm a queen.
Also, I love that she's just like, oh, so it's a cell phone.
Yeah, and like, whoa, Mimi knows things. I mean,
Mimi's
I know
so good at things. God,
yeah,
I love new Mimi. New Mimi is maybe the best change.
Yeah, which is like, she's great. I love her.
What if amazing end of season 1 Mimi was just always Mimi?
Yeah, like that's good. She doesn't have to be like I've seen some people.
She has a dress with pockets.
Yeah, of course, because you need pockets if you're a queen. You need to put things in them, especially if you're a leader as well as a queen. Because she's definitely like seems to be a tactical leader or something. Because she seems to be smart. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain about how all the children are already like nice people. I'm like, they're 10. I don't know if I knew many 10-year-olds who were just awful when I was 10. Besides them being general just 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to be terrible people.
We already have Yamato. We don't need another angsty one.
Yeah. I mean, so far Yamato at least seems reasonable. Like he said, okay, we have to work together.
For the tiny amount of time we've seen him, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he is at the moment, but I don't really miss him. Like, I feel like this is a fine introduction to the characters. It's good that we're sort of separating them enough that we don't have 5 evolutions at the same time.
Plus, not being around is really kind of Matt's character trait.
Yeah. Like, I'd be fine if he's just sort of like the edgy, like, I will work together when I see
He's the Green
fit.
Ranger,
Like,
except he never really joins the team. He just shows up when he feels like it.
He has a big wolf. Anyway, so they're all being surprised, and Mimi says there's no time for just hanging around and holding out her Digivices, and which is great because she's like, I have a job to do. I have to protect this kingdom. I have to fight the evil Digimon, and I'm like, well done.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Because you're right. We wouldn't have time to just stare around and like, oh, Digivices.
Yep.
So Koshiro calls them on Taichi's Digivice, and this is when Mimi says, oh, it's like a smartphone. I'm like, well done. And Koshiro tells them to watch something, and Mimi, being the wonderful little queen superstar that she is, points out that the time's all slowed down. And I'm like, well done. Well done for being the only one to point that out.
I love her.
Yeah, but she's not like, smart as in Koshiro smart. She's smart as in she's aware and she's perceptive.
Yeah, she's got the most common sense out of any of them.
Which is good. Like, I like that. I mean, I know Joe's going to be the most common sense because that's kind of like...
I mean, it's his one thing.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
oh god,
so
Koshiro... when we inevitably get to the dub, she's going to ask if she can play Donkey Madness on the Digivice.
I kind of like... I wouldn't hate that because I do like... Because that means that whatever growth she'll have... Yeah, whatever growth that she will have will be even more if she just sort of starts as a kind of like a little bit on the ditzy side, but... Again, this is not a ditzy Mimi. This is not like the girly girl. I like pink Mimi.
This is the amazing Mimi.
This is she might like pink, but she's not going to make that a whole thing. That's not her personality.
I like that we now... I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You go ahead.
Yep. So then Koshiro explains that it seems that time in the digital world moves at a different place to the human world, and then we see that meanwhile Ogamon is taking control of Tuskmon with Soundbirdmon, and it sounds like No Easy Tusk, which is the best line from the original dub when Tuskmon shows up. Yeah. No Easy Tusk. I love it so much.
Good.
Yeah, I miss Phantommon. So much.
Real good. I hope we get a Phantommon.
Yeah, me too. I just really like Phantommon. I like Phantommon's design. It's creepy, but it's also kind of a little bit cute.
Well, and it's creepy enough that they had to ham him up to make him not scary, which is so much better.
Scythe.
He had a scythe, and he makes
which is funny because you're about to be his snack. I love him. I love his voice. I love his I love.
He's so
I have so much love for Phantommon. Please, can we see Phantommon later on in the season when we're up to perfect level Monsters of the Week? Though, I mean, to be fair, we're getting a lot of champion Digimon Monster of the Week, like literal like swarms, which I'm sure must be stronger than one perfect.
Power levels are meaningless.
Yeah, it is Digimon. So Koshiro explaining how there's some lag between the human world and the digital world, and even the network that he's in. It's sort of, there's a lag between the worlds. And then Sora wonders if Mimi was transported to the digital world earlier than the rest of the group, because she seems to be sort of unaware of the blackouts that are going on. Koshiro then shows the group the news at the normal, speed, and it's reporting the outages. And then Mimi seems worried about Tokyo, because of course she is. This is her home.
Yeah.
And then she recognises her grandfather, who we find out to be the chairman of Tachikawa Industries. Ugh. And Mimi says that she wishes that there was something that she could do to help. I'm like, oh, Mimi's
helpful. Family made TK's outfit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's one of my favorite things. That was a dumb speculation that Stevie made, and it's completely true.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I'm so it's so nice to see Mimi be aware of the goings on around her. In the original series, especially in the dub, it was very Mimi's not connected. Mimi's not in the same level as everyone else. She's just sort of not really there. But this Mimi, she's good. She's realistic. She's a human. I love that.
No, it's so good. I do think that I didn't need her to be a wealthy heiress, but it's fine.
I don't think she's going to, from what I can see, I don't think that's going to be her character, because she didn't mention that she was an heiress until she saw her grandfather, and I'm fairly certain she probably would have just gone the whole season without mentioning it.
That may
had
be.
she not have just seen her grandfather.
I just meant in general, we didn't really need it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I kind of like it, because if she does have any slight spoiled traits, at least you kind of say, oh,
what
she's
happens
just a
when she's not
who...
in charge?
Yeah. We'll probably see something, but I like how she didn't say that her grandfather was the chairman like the other characters did. She just recognized her grandfather. So, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Mimi says that protecting the Tanemon from the bad Digimon is the most important, and Taichi refers Mimi to as Queen, and then the group says they want to help her, and then she numbers Taichi as number 72, servant, and Sora as number 73. I love you so much.
She's so good. I love that she knows every Tanemon individually by number.
Of course she does. They probably have very small differences that she's able to pick up on because she's perceptive and wonderful.
It's true.
So she gives the other humans little plants to put on their heads so they look like Tanemon. And I just want to point out that this is the best thing in my life.
It's so good. It's the best.
And then, what's the thing with the flags called when you
semaphore.
Can communicate? Yeah, there we are. So we see Tanemon doing semaphore, and because they observe some Tuskmon that look like they're about to attack, and they just communicate through the line. Oh, that is so smart because they have leaves.
Yep,
that's so smart. That is so good. I love Tanemon so much. I have a Tanemon plushie that Onke sent me, and it's the squishable one. And I'm just Tanemon, look at you.
Oh,
I know. I was so emotional. I was just this episode got me emotional because I just really like Tanemon.
Yeah. One of these days I should post a picture of my Terriermon in a Cardcaptor Sakura dress.
Oh, yes. I think you might have sent me something similar a long time ago.
Yeah. Maybe. I've had it for a couple of years now, but it's still great.
Yeah. I think Stevie's drawn something like that as well.
Yeah, that was a commission for me.
Yeah. Okay, then I am remembering. Cool.
Yeah.
I like when I remember things.
Yes. So I have that, and then someone also, for a birthday present, had that art piece turned into a stuffed animal for me, and it's great.
Yep. Okay, I've seen that stuffed animal then. Then that's what I'm remembering.
Anyway, moving on.
That's great. Anyway, moving on to things that aren't Terriermon, but Terriermon's the best, so they should be. So the Tuskmon break through a fence, but then fall down a hole. And this is the point, is Mimi a tactical genius, or did Tanemon and Palmon set this up, or is this just
I really
did Mimi
want
instruct
this to be
them
Mimi.
to? Yeah, I'm going to say it's Mimi until we know otherwise, because
I think that's
really
supposed
like
to
the
be
idea
the implication is she's really good at this.
Yeah, because she did say that it's her duty to protect the Tanemon, so maybe. So, but basically more than half of the Tuskmon fall down the hole. I think there's 7 and then 3 remain after this or something.
Yeah, I think they take out 3 out of 6.
Okay, there's 6
that's
then.
a lot.
They take out half. That's a lot, yeah. They all fall down the hole. And Taichi and Agumon run off to fight the remaining Tuskmon, who are finding themselves their way around this giant, like, moat cliff that they've got going on to protect the village. So, like, an additional layer of protection. And Agumon evolves to Greymon and fights them. Corydramon is flying overhead, and Sora holds her Digivice, and we get a skipped evolution, which I like when they skip the evolutions, just on the basis that you don't need to show us the stock animation every time we get an evolution. And some people's like, oh, why do they keep on skipping the girls' evolutions? Like, no, you don't understand. They need to skip some evolutions, or otherwise they lose time for the actual story.
Well, and if you notice, they've actually done that with everyone's first evolution.
Yeah.
Because Agumon admittedly got the really cool body horror one, but everyone's gotten a special one their first time, and I think that's just gonna stay true.
Yeah, we're just gonna have probably the Agumon stock footage for the other characters when they have time to show additional evolutions, but everyone gets a special first time evolution. But I don't mind skipping evolution, because it's like, 30 seconds of extra stuff they can put in the episode. I'm not going to complain about that.
Yep.
Especially when we have earlier seasons that felt the need to put like 10 minutes of evolving in an episode.
Oh god.
That was my old meter.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of the O2 ending where they have all the evolutions. They have to split screen every single person's because they're doing 3 at a time.
Yeah, and it still takes forever. And that was always how I judge if like an episode is actually good or not, by how many evolutions they have, because the better stories always seem to skip the evolutions. I remember one in Adventure when they're rescuing Sora from the pyramid, and they skip Palmon's evolution to Togemon. She's just like, okay, Palmon, you evolve. And then, like, there's sort of like a cutaway, and all of a sudden it's Togemon.
Nice.
Like, that's
a really
great.
good episode, yeah. My other indication of quality is how late into the episode do we start evolving?
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Because they introduce
They had a story
concepts
happening.
before that. Yeah. Especially if they go an episode without evolving or fighting until, like, the end of the episode. Like, that's good. Anyway, so meanwhile, Greymon is fighting 2 remaining Tuskmon, and Taichi see Corydramon, but Birdramon and Sora show up to fight him. Palmon asks Mimi if she's scared, and Mimi says, oh, I'm just a little, and Palmon says that she'll protect her. And then suddenly the earth starts shaking and splits, which reveals a Jumojimon, which has Ogamon riding it. Jumojimon tries to attack Mimi and Palmon, but Palmon saves her, and then Palmon looks injured but fights Jumojimon anyway, and he is swole, and everyone and their dog has posted about this on Twitter, about swole Jumojimon, and I kind of dig it. Like, why is he so swole?
I love that in our Not Safe for Work channel, someone is tracking how many new instances of Jumojimon Rule 34 end up being posted. And,
no.
Anyway, yeah, we're not going to update that on the air, but you can come around to the Discord channel if you want to get in on that.
Yeah, just go into the Lost in Translation on Discord channel, and if you are 18 plus, go into the, I think it's called Not Safe for Wormmon.
Yes.
Which I named it that, and even though I named it that, I think Quinn also has read it as this, I keep on reading as Not Safe for Women.
Yeah, I have done
which
that,
is not
yes.
good. To be fair, sometimes stuff's posted in there that's not safe for anybody.
Okay.
But anyway, moving on. So there's one Tuskmon left, and however, Birdramon just kind of drops a giant dragon on the Tuskmon. So that was that sorted. Back to Mimi, the most important spotlight hope of the season. It appears that Palmon is actually dying, by the way, which is kind of like...
Yeah.
This makes me sad, but I do like when they show that Digimon characters, including partner Digimon, can die or can be injured.
We're going to at least pretend there are stakes here.
Yeah, and it makes it seem a lot more meaningful that Digimon can die, and this is the first time we've seen this in this season so far, and it's fairly early in a Digimon season to introduce the idea of dying.
It's true.
It's great. I mean, it's sad, but it is, like, in terms of a piece of media, it's good to actually show stakes. So Palmon tells Mimi to run, and Mimi says that she won't run because when she first arrived, Mimi was so alone, and then Palmon found her and introduced her to Tanemon, and Mimi says that she can't just run away and leave Palmon alone, and her Digivice glows, and Palmon evolves to Togemon, and then she punches Jumojimon right in the drill, which is just like, that's cool. Ogamon gets mad that there's an evolution and tries to just straight up murder Mimi.
Yep.
And Greymon shows up, and Greymon breaks off Ogamon's horn, which I don't have a lot of faith in Digimon keeping this horn broken, but since he also still had the broken horn and seemed sad about it at the end of the episode,
Maybe
I think we're going to get lasting battle damage.
I think. Well, I don't expect it to be a regular thing, but yeah, I think we're getting that this time.
I think Ogamon is just going to not have a horn for the rest of the time we see him alive as Ogamon.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
So that's cool.
I don't think that will be a thing that happens to most enemies we fight, but
no, but
it's cool
I think
that we're doing it once.
But I think Tamers had battle damage where Gargomon was like hit in the face, and at the start of the next episode still had the scratch on his face until he de-digivolved.
Yeah, we got that the once.
I think that's happened once. We've never had lasting battle damage, and what would have been cool, and I think we mentioned this back when we were covering Tamers on the original Lost in Translational coverage, is that it would have been cool if Terriermon kept that scar for at least a couple of episodes.
That would have been neat.
So
I always
back
wondered
to the episode.
Never mind.
No, continue. What did you want to talk about?
I always wondered if with Frontier, what is the name of Koji's biggest form?
Magna Garurumon?
Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, Magna Garurumon.
He gets skinny. He has
gets
like
skinny.
He has fat shoulders. Yeah.
Yep.
But I was playing Hacker's Memory the other day because I've just been streaming that lately. I played it for like 2 hours in the morning, and then I played it for 5 hours in the afternoon, and I was like going to continue to play until I realized that it had been 5 hours since I started streaming. So I was like, actually, I'm just gonna leave.
That's fair.
So I got a Kendo Garurumon to evolve to Magna Garurumon.
Nice.
And then there's like a mode change, and I'm like, what's this? SV version. And it's just a slim version, and it's just really funny because he's so small.
That must be the new Hacker's Memory, because I don't remember that from the original. Oh, wait, no. Hacker's Memory is the sequel. There we go.
Yeah. Well, it's
whatever.
What I like to call a during qual.
Yeah.
Because it takes place it's like Lion King 1/2.
Yeah.
Where it's set during it. But good so far. I can't believe I slept on it for so long. But it is my streaming game, and I'm almost done with it, which is really sad because that means I have to play Next Order.
Yeah, I wanted to like Next Order. Anyway, yes.
I just don't like that. I just don't like how you can be. It sort of like turns back your progress to you just starting every time your Digimon dies, and also I keep on getting Vegemon, and I got that on a stream once, and I think that's the last time I played. Anyway, so meanwhile, while Greymon has broken off Ogamon's horn, Togemon is beating the life out of Jimon, and she wins because it's her evolution episode, but also giant cactus. And she de-evolves back to Palmon, and Mimi and Palmon have a beautiful, like, this is so on brand for their, like, relationship between the two. They have an on-brand character moment where Mimi and Palmon just hold each other and cry and tell each other how much they love each other, and that's just like, that's so Mimi and Palmon. That's just, that's gals being pal. What's better than this? Gals being Palmons.
Yep.
It's just so good. I love their friendship, and I love how they just cry, and they're not afraid or ashamed to cry onto each other, and it's gorgeous.
And they were partners.
Yeah, they were actually partners, and they love each other, and which makes sense because they haven't just met. So when Sora and Beamon were all like really loving when they just met, was kind of like, that doesn't seem like Sora and Beamon, but I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But now we see Mimi and Palmon, and Mimi, felt alone until she met Palmon, and they've known each other for at least some time. Like, they could have been like this for, depending on how the timey-wimey went, they could have been
a few
already
weeks.
together for like months.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, when Taichi went back after like 3 months, all of a sudden it'd been like no time at all, and then when he came back to the digital world after a couple of hours, it had been like 6 months. So
yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to play
she
fast
could have been
and
there
loose with that, but it's still cool.
Which is what I like, because it means that they don't have to stick to any time rules. They can just say, oh yeah, whatever, and I'll be like, okay, whatever. Which is the best thing about like shows that introduce some weird timeness happening, because
in the introduction we said it only matters when we say it matters.
Yeah.
And also the Digivice can just change it sometimes.
That's fine. Digivice just be that way. They put it under the water, it doesn't break. Whatever. Ogamon's mad, lost his horn, and is screaming alone in a forest, which is just like,
that's a mood.
This is how I feel when like things don't work out. Like, I'm just like screaming alone in a forest. And then Mimi and Palmon. Yep. Yeah. Mimi and Palmon are joining the group, and Mimi remembers her time with the Tanemon and says they're going to take care of the kingdom and how she's going to do her best from here. And so good. Wow. What were your highlights?
Mimi.
Yeah, just Mimi.
Everything
Mimi is the
about
entirety
Mimi.
highlight.
Okay, my single
Everything.
best highlights were the dress with pockets and the purse made out of leaves at the end.
Yeah, that was so good because she probably wouldn't have had a bag if she was just transported out of nowhere. So that's fine. So she made her own.
Yeah.
Again, tactical genius.
Love her. Other highlights, really good evolution sequence. It was just a magical girl sequence, but slightly creepy.
And that makes so much sense because Palmon has always been magical girl, but a little bit creepy because remember Lilymon's evolution, which is I feel like the best from Togemon, is that when she just comes out of the top of Togemon, which because usually you just say, hey, that evolution doesn't make sense, but when you see the evolution sequence of her just sort of coming out of the top, like, oh, she's sprouting because she's a flower.
So good.
That's so good. And also
yes,
the fact
I
that
loved it.
Palmon looks like she's growing in the evolution, like she's just growing like a big plant. It's just,
It's
so
real
good.
good. It's real good. They did a great job.
real good. Yeah, like, well done, animators. And, like, the animation quality looked better than the previous episodes, I think. Not as good as, like, the first 3,
Yeah.
but definitely, I mean, I think just Mimi just makes everything better.
Oh, she really does. Her entrance with the fruit thieves must be punished thing. God, it slays me how much I unironically like that moment.
Oh, yeah, I love that too. And, any other highlights for you?
Tanamon Semaphore. Good for them.
Yeah, that was clever. Like, well done. Like, that's good.
Someone on the writing staff really had a thought.
Yeah, and that was a thought. And like they've said, how do they communicate without like yelling and alerting the Tuskmon?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like that's thoughtful. And I like when shows are thoughtful. And Digimon is not often thoughtful. And I use that word a lot to describe Atmon as well. Like a lot of it seems thoughtful. Like they actually put some thought behind it. So yeah, well done. Any other highlights?
Nothing that super comes to mind.
Yeah, I've got a few. Even though this is a sad moment, I did like how Palmon actually looked close to die.
That's true.
I feel like that was kind of thoughtful. As I keep on going, I'm going to use that word a lot, but
We
I
got
just
that
liked
scene and
how,
it wasn't for Leomon.
Yeah, like it's nice to introduce the death, like or the idea of death, especially when they show that it can happen to a partner Digimon, and maybe we'll actually get a partner Digimon dying in this show.
Might be.
Which, I mean, we did get with Angemon in the first season, but it makes it feel like there are actually stakes here. Like, people can die, humans can die, Digimon can die, we can all die. And it makes it seem, I don't know, meaningful. I like that. I mean, it's sad. I don't like it in terms of, it doesn't make me happy to see, but I like it as a piece of media.
Yeah. I don't think I expect that to happen much, if at all, to any of the protagonists as more than a vague threat, but still, I appreciate the attention to, detail and attempting to show, hey, yep, death is a real thing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I don't think it'll happen much, but I feel like, because it is, remember, a kid's show. This is not a show for adults. We had Kizuna, which had, like, was a little bit more serious, but I like this. I like it when it's for kids a lot more because I don't know,
like
it just
that
seems
they
better
finally
written
took the "why did this no one ever attack the kids" thing to heart, and almost every episode we get that.
Almost every episode, the Digimon will turn to attack the kids, and I like that because of course they would, especially if they want to kill the children. Like, that was the thing. Leomon said, I must kill the chosen children in the original adventure, and then would proceed to not kill the chosen children. He would proceed to fight their partners.
Right.
But I also liked the fact that we've got some battle damage that may last into the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I will always like that. I liked how Mimi's a lot tougher, but she still wants to be royalty. Like, if she wasn't royalty, I feel like that wouldn't be Mimi. Like, it could never be Mimi if she didn't want to be royal. So
I love that this time it's
the same
just
sort of character.
she earned it.
Also, this time she's a queen. She doesn't just want to be a princess. Because a princess is, a princess. A
Screw
queen
being a princess.
gets stuff done. Yeah. She's just bypassed princess. Also, she has a butler. That's great.
My stepmother's business card says Queen of the Universe, and I feel like it's really that energy.
Yeah, that is some big energy. Is your stepmother Mimi?
Well, she's Emily, but she's got a little bit of Mimi energy.
Good. I think we all should have a little bit of Mimi energy.
Yeah, Mimi is just the good version of Karen.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, if there was a good version of Karen, like, someone who does speak what they believe in, but manages to not be a jerk when they do so, like, that's some Mimi energy.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with, saying, hey, there's something wrong with this. Like, if you have, like, a problem and, you have to deal with customer service and you're not happy, there's a way to say, hey, I'm not happy without being a Karen. And I like to think that I do that well. If I'm not happy with customer service, I always say, hey, look, I know it's not your fault, but I'm kind of disappointed about this. And for some reason, they're always like really happy to give me what I want because I'm not being a Karen.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there's a difference between a Karen and a Mimi, and be a Mimi, don't be a Karen. So, my highlights still continue. I'll just have one more highlight, though, because I feel like having multiple highlights kind of makes it seem like there's not that many highlights. Or there's too many highlights, rather, and that makes it all of the highlights seem less. Anyway, so I like how most characters still get a shine in somebody else's evolution episode, but not too much. It's a good amount of, like, everyone can still do a battle, but they just won't have the main focus, and I feel like that's how evolution episodes should be. We shouldn't just make everyone else not able to
find a way to
for some
nerf the
reason.
others, etc. Yeah, we just went with bigger battle. It happens.
Yeah. And also it means that no one's sort of pushed to the side, and Frontier tended to do this, where someone was always pushed to the side in an evolution episode. In one evolution episode, it was even the person who was evolving that was pushed to the side.
Yep.
So it's nice to keep focus on other characters. It doesn't make them feel like anyone's stronger or weaker because it's their episode. What about lowlights? Because this was a hard one for me.
It was a really strong episode. If I actually stop and think about the timey-wiminess, it's annoying, but it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it was a pretty solid fight. You know, like...
Yeah,
everything about
That's
Mimi,
not a
everything
light.
about Tanamon was all really good. Like, I'm trying to
That's
think
not
of
a low
bad
light. You
things.
need to
I
have
know,
lowlights.
I'm talking through... This is my process, okay?
Okay, alright. You're taking everything out that's not a low light and
fine.
seeing what's left. My low light's like... I would like to see more about Koshiro. I feel like I don't know where he is, but at the same time, like, where's Matt?
Yeah.
The opening is still just Taichi focused.
That does suck,
like
and I
the,
think that's
intro
just not
song.
going to change.
Yeah, I mean, it probably will change about episode 10, because that's usually when they get their next evolution opening. You know what I mean. Next part of the story.
Right. Yeah, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Matt or anyone show up with Izzy. But, you know, we'll probably get to that.
I haven't really been watching the sort of like next time ons, because I try to be as empty as possible. I know that next time is a Joe episode.
That's really all that was in the thing.
Yeah, I don't know who encounters Joe. Like, I don't know which part of the group. It might be Matt. It could be Izzy. It could be the larger group. I don't know, but I'm all for it. I just love Joe. I'm excited because, like, Joe's the best normally. I can't wait to see how they do him, because they're doing everyone the best.
That's true. I thought I had something.
Any lowlights? You thought you had something?
Yeah.
Like, Joe's not in it yet. That's a low light.
That is fair. Joe is good. No, I get. Oh, the one thing I will say, and I hope we get some going forward. I would really like to see Mimi and Sora like meaningfully interact in a way that even in an episode with really only 3 people, they kind of didn't get to.
Yeah, like the Crest of Sincerity episode of Digimon Adventure, which is the one with they get the crest and has the Kokatorimon on the boat.
Yeah. That's about the only time those 2 characters have ever really done a whole lot together.
And Princess Karaoke, when Sora,
yeah, that's
like,
true.
says...
But
it's not that many times.
I'm kind of, like, I'm trying to think if any season of Digimon has ever passed the Bechdel test, and I don't think so.
No, there's not enough.
Maybe
actually, Tamers, Juri, and Ruki, when they are when everyone's sort of making fun of Juri and not letting her join in, and Ruki's like, "Don't worry, I'll teach you how to play the cards," and everyone's just like, "Ruki's being nice."
That was so good. Okay, so we've got one, but my point still stands.
Oh, and the really gay episodes of 02 when we have Mimi and Miyako.
Oh
Miyako
shit, that is
and
true.
Yeah.
Oh,
when they get a little bit gay. But 02 is also probably not the best season. Definitely not Frontier, because I don't think...
No.
I don't think Ranamon fighting with Fairymon counts.
Not so much, no.
Yeah. When it's a cat fight, it doesn't count.
No.
But yeah, a lot of shonen have a terrible track record for having
women on screen ever.
Yeah, a lot of shonen have one woman character, and it's usually the love interest or the sister, or both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I always liked about Mimi, is that arguably you could say Sora is the love interest and Hikari is the sister, but Mimi is just the queen. Like...
Yep, she's just better than you.
Yeah, like, I love that. Like, I don't mean to sound like Azuma, but Yas Queen. Though I'm not sure if millennials started that or Zoomers.
I have no
'Cause it
idea.
definitely, because I'm a millennial, and I'm pretty sure I've never literally, like, unironically said Yas Queen, but
Yeah.
also Yas Queen.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know.
yeah.
My pop culture kind of stopped about 10 years ago.
Yeah, same. Like, people just started yeeting things, and it took me so long to realize what a yeet and what a dab was.
Yeah. I have enough students that I eventually learned what a dab was. I did have to ask what a yeet was.
Yeah, I had to, but I know, because I see yeet used in so different ways. I think it's just throwing something, and I did a tweet earlier, which was Palmon yeeting Mimi.
Yes,
But
so
anyway,
it's
yeah.
both a verb, meaning to throw something, but it's also like an interjection like hooray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeet.
And those are two completely
know.
separate things, but they both have
Back
the
in
same
my day,
word.
we used to just back in my day we used to throw things, and we used to just say yay. Like imagine if we were playing Digimon World, instead of yatta, all of a sudden Hero says yeet. I think I'd die for that.
Alright,
be
but in
honest.
fairness, in my day, people didn't say yeet, they said woot.
No, yeah, I remember Woot.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember Ponage?
Oh god.
Everything being ponage. Like, oh yeah, that's total ponage. Like, okay, just say ownage, but why do you have to... Where'd the P come from? Millennials, you are not... well, we're not cool. Stop shaming Zoomers for doing their little Fortnite dances and whatever. When we did
They're
the Hare
cute.
Yokai and we used to say ponage.
Yeah.
We were all cringy at that age.
The internet sucked 20 years ago, and now it sucks in very different ways.
Yeah. Anyway, so we don't have any more highlights or lowlights. I think it's time to move on to Stevie's starts.
Yep.
Okay, I'm clicking the reveal spoiler on Discord. Da da da. Okay, Stevie says, and I hope that there's no profanities here, because I'll just accidentally say them because I'm putting on my reading voice. Stevie says, I really enjoyed the episode and this version of Mimi based on the episode. And it's probably the best version of Mimi that they've seen. Palmon's Digivolution sequence isn't up there with Greymon's, but I do like how smooth the animation was. It's nice to have a Digimon on the team that has attacks that aren't just fire. The battles are way more dynamic than the original series too, and rely much less on stock footage of attacks. The whole sequence defending Mimi's kingdom was great as a whole. Tynamon passing on signals is the best thing, and I would agree. And, well, that dresses with pockets, or t-shirts with pockets as well now in Ty's case. So, basically, yeah. Stevie
Yep.
seems to also share the same opinions, which is good.
I'll take
And,
favorite character.
Yeah,
Alright.
favorite, yeah.
Uh,
And, so, oh no, wait, before favorite character, any thoughts about compared with the original series? Because Stevie sort of dived into that a little bit with, how the battles are more dynamic.
yeah, I really do like that we're not reusing footage constantly.
Yeah, and if we are, it's like in smaller chunks. It's
Yeah.
like, I think an earlier episode had Greymon fighting the Algomon, and that was used a little bit, like, throughout the episode, but it's never like, hey, flower cannon, like the time that Lilymon had to yeet Mimi away just so she could use the stock animation.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hope we get more of that. Of just having to throw your partner into the air so that you can use both hands for an attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lack of stock footage, I'm always reminded of, there's a scene from Code Lyoko where, like, one of the female leads, Yumi, is just standing in her underwear, and anytime she needs to be on the phone, because she's on the phone in that scene, they use this random scene of an 11-year-old in her underwear, and it's real weird. And I'm like...
That is real weird.
It's such a good reason not to do stock footage.
Yeah, absolutely. Not doing that. My main comparison was she's a princess in the original and she's a queen in this one.
Yeah. Queen Mimi, so good.
Also, for memory, Palmon to Togemon's original evolution episode from the original series was pretty good. And it had, like, Mimi being a hero, basically, because everyone else was being brainwashed.
Yeah. Which, if you have to nerf everyone else, works okay, because it was the first
Yeah.
time they'd done that.
Yeah, but so I'm not saying I don't like the original episode 6, but this episode was obviously a lot better. Like, we
So
have
much
Mimi.
better.
Mimi's good.
Mimi,
Her
you're so
evolution
good.
episodes have always been the best.
They really are.
Like, I always do like the Mimi episodes. She's so good. And I do like when she goes to hug Palmon, her hat flies off.
Oh, yes. I love her hair under the hat. It's really cute.
Yeah. Very cute. I don't think we
Mimi's
saw
goals
her
is,
not
I
wearing a
think,
hat
what we're
in
coming
original.
down to.
Yeah. Speaking of which, who's your favourite character?
Mimi.
Yeah, me too. Like, surprise, surprise. It was always going to be Mimi, and even if this episode wasn't good, it would be Mimi. And Stevie's favorite. Well, Stevie's written quite a lot for fave character. It's clearly like 3 sentences. So let's see. I'm revealing the next part of Stevie's stance, which is: Mimi is a good this episode. I'm glad she's not the squeamish girl, and is instead a competent leader in her own right. I hope she doesn't fall into the background behind Ty. Heck, I'd love to see her argue with Ty and put forward her own ideas in the future. And I want that too, because we kind of had that in the original even, when like Ty was like, let's go, and Mimi was like, but can we mourn the death of all our friends? So yeah, I guess, are we just all choosing Mimi?
Yeah, 100%. Mimi across the board.
Mimi across the board. And let's move on to rating, because I gave it a 5 out of 5, completely not surprisingly. What did you give it?
I'm gonna go with 4.5. I want to hope there's still room for improvement, but God, it was a good episode.
Yeah, I think I gave the last episode a 4.5, so I couldn't give this one a 4.5.
You had to go up,
so I had to give it a 5. I'm going to go 6 out of 5 for something. I just know it. Which is good, because that means that they should continually improve. I'm going to have to adjust my ratings, and I'm worried about that.
By the end, we just pretend we were always on an out of 10 system.
Yeah, yep. Well, that's like the dream, right? That like a season is so good that it rewrites a scale completely.
Yeah.
As for Stevie, 4 out of 5. So yeah, seems to be a lot of enjoyment across the board for all of us. Next, for how you ranked the series, the episodes in the series.
Let me see. What was my ranking up to now?
I'll copy it into the Discord and I'll send it.
Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just do that when I sent Stevie
the
ranking. There we are.
Alright, so I think mine is going to be 6, 1, 5, 2, 3, 4.
So first place?
Yeah.
Yep, I would totally agree. I also put it in first place, not surprising, and revealing Stevie. Still second place, so 1, 6, 2, 3, 5, 4.
Oh,
so
fair enough.
Second place. Which is still like, I think Stevie's been the most critical of the show, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But it also means that we don't often agree. But I think we're mainly pretty much in agreement that this was a good episode.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was.
Definitely. It was very exciting. It hit some of the nostalgia notes without needing to beat for beat redo stuff from last time, which is, I think, what everyone really wants.
Yeah, because I always want, like, nostalgia notes hit, but not, like, don't make it the whole focus. Like, that's not fun. On to questions. We have Sucks634 on YouTube, wondering why girls are so submissive and innocent, and wants to see at least one with the same attitude as Rika from Tamers.
That'd be good.
Surprise, surprise. I think that character is Mimi.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, that's not a submissive character.
No, you would have expected a little more from Sora, but I am here for it from Mimi.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like, that's fine for me. Also, Rika, not necessarily, like, her character is just, like, I'm strong, so that means I'm mean, like, for a lot of the series. And while it does get better, that's more or less just her character for a long time. So I don't necessarily think that we need to have every character like Rika, but it is good to have a character that's not submissive and innocent and is kind of like a leader. And surprisingly, and I didn't expect to get that from Mimi.
Mm-hmm. She needs to just steal the goggles.
She would steal the goggles, and I want that. Next, Anthony on YouTube likes how Digimon are living in the shadows of their previous selves, and it's quite meta.
Yeah.
And then Tuxedo Mask 101 on YouTube says, it's interesting that we get to see the 3 Archangel Digimon, Seraphimon, Trubimon, and Ophanimon. In deep Digimon lore, these are created by God to protect the kernel of heaven. Right below them, or next to them at times, is the other 3 Archangel that include Racielmon, Mekumon's true mega, and this Digimon is known to possess all of God's knowledge and knows anything that's happening in the digital world. So yeah, I like the Digimon lore, and I would want more of it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of lore.
Yeah. Next, SP on the website likes new multifunctional Digivice and hopes the feature will continue. And I think it will. Like, previous seasons, they've obviously, like, just sort of forgotten about certain features of things happening halfway through because they just didn't feel like using that anymore in terms of a writing mechanic. Then SP continues to say, curious to see how Mimi's character will be in episode 6. And, here we are in the future, and yay. Mimi's good. And that's
it's great.
And then SP finishes by saying it'll be weird having Devimon without Angemon if Takaru doesn't show up until Act 2. And, yeah, I guess. But it also means that we won't necessarily have Angemon being, like, a plot mechanic like he was in the first season. Just like, well, Patamon only evolves sometimes, and when he does, he defeats the big bad. Like, I kind of don't want that. I saw that in the original. I'm here for something new.
Yeah. We had him be the limit break, and it was okay, I guess. I don't think it was what anyone really wanted out of the season.
Yeah. So now I have a weird one that I only just saw this morning, and it is really weird. It was stuck in my spam filter for the website in terms of comments. And it was on my review post of episode 6, which I posted yesterday, and it was in Italian.
Huh.
And I'm not sure if this is like there are thoughts on the series or the thoughts on the episode or just a synopsis of a series, or if this is a spam bot or a real person. I don't know, but I have to read it out because I did Google Translate on it. I don't speak Italian, so I'm going to read Marco's response to the review of episode 6, which is entirely in Italian, and I had to use Google Translate. Are you ready for this?
Hit me.
Okay, punch. Anyway, Digimon Adventure 2020, with the old original characters because they will have become the new ones, and also the new Digimon with the protagonist is Genai, who asks the 7 Digi-Pereschetti to find the 7 Digimagnoli, the 7 Digipetre, and thus help their 7 Digimon partners do less 7 new Digivolutions for their titles of the new animated series are Digimon Adventure 01, Digimon Adventure 02, Digimon Adventure 03, Digimon Adventure 04, Digimon Tamer 01, Digimon Tamer 02, Digimon Frontier 01, and Digimon Frontier 02. That was my favourite series, the Digimon Frontier Season 2. Anyway. And other Digimon animated series franchise with how many episodes, and then first of all the Japanese voice actors think about putting their voices of the character that we broadcast on TV Tokyo for this year or 2020, and then the Italian voice actors think about putting their voices of the characters that we broadcast on Italia 1 for next year or 2021. I don't know what I just read, but I'm really glad I read it.
Yeah.
My favourite was Digi-Peschetti because it sounds like a sausage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the thing. And that's it for the questions. Do we have any other thoughts about episode 6, or can we wrap up?
Mimi was good. That's it. That's the thought.
Mimi was good. That is a thought. Mimi was good. We can just like delete this whole recording and just say like all at the same time, Mimi is good, because that really would be what the episode was.
Mimi is so much better than I expected.
Yeah, and I'm happy for this. I was anxious, I'm like, oh, this could be where the show goes bad, but no, we get Mimi. We get her being a tactical genius Mimi, and I'm so here for that. Alright everyone, thanks for listening, and next time we'll be watching episode 7, That Boy is Joe Kiddo. Do we have any thoughts or predictions?
Gomamon is gonna be a good...
Yeah, I'm excited for Joe, but I'm also excited for Gomamon because Gomamon's so good.
Gomamon might be the best partner.
Oh yeah, Palmon and Gomamon and Tentomon are always like the tops of my top favorites because they're so emotive.
Yep. Agumon is fine, but Palmon
pretty good. Anything else?
It's ironic that a show that Try, where characters had already gone through a bunch of stuff, had to regress everyone's characters, and then this show where no one has gone through anything did the exact opposite.
Yeah, and I like that because
they learned.
Like it. I like this series. This series is going really well so far, and I really hope it keeps this up, because if it keeps up this level of quality, it'll be better than Atmon.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because Atmon had a couple of not good episodes at this point in time. Like, they weren't bad, but they just weren't incredible.
Yeah.
And I feel like so far Adventure Colon is above that. And I kind of wish it was called Psy, because I'm really sick of saying Digimon Adventure. No, not that one. Or just Digimon Adventure Colon.
Yeah.
So I really wish, some people are still calling it Psy, and I kind of wish I had continue to call it Psy, but it is now Adventure Colon 2020 for me, and that's just what I call it.
Yeah.
Alright, so thank you for listening, and thank you, Quinn, for joining me.
Absolutely.
And thanks to Stevie for the thoughts, and hopefully Stevie can join us next time.
Indeed.
So the link dump's linked in the description, our Redbubble's also linked in the description, and you can get more than just shirts there too. You can contact us and stay updated, email us at lostintranslationmon@gmail.com, or comment on this episode in Italian, or message us on our website, lostintranslationmon.com. In Italian, I'll use Google Translate. It'll be fine. I still don't know. Maybe I missed the message completely of that message, but I'm here for it. I loved it.
Write your comments in English, put them through Google Translator into Italian, and then send them to us.
Oh my gosh. That'd be great. Yeah, do that. And you can follow us on that Translation on Twitter, and you can follow us Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We need 260 more subscribers until we have 1,000, so we're nearly there. And we have a discussion thread on With the Will and a Reddit thread in Digimon subreddit. And we'd appreciate if you were to review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and any other podcast listening app that you use. Ratings assist people finding out about the podcast. And as I said, we have a website. Write to us in your language of choice. And donate to our Patreon with the description from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to our listener Discord server, but there are higher levels, more rewards such as notes, early episodes, and more. And thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Joe, Anime Guy, who's Anime Guy Kurosaki 1 on YouTube, Stephen Reeves, who's Wildwing64 on Archive Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who you can follow on Tumblr Chisai236, Kyle, Tom, Lismet, who's a Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Menal Marmimon, Sam, Spiral, Keith from a computer podcast on the internet, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, and Lucas. And you can also make a one-off donation on our PayPal, which you found in the description. It's paypal.me/Airjamon. And you can also donate to me on my Coffee account, ko-fi.com/airdrop. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!
Bye!